Alright, next deck we're playing today. We're trying Deathmark Ephemerals. So this is an archetype that's been in the list for, or been in the game for a little while now. And with the release of the Empires of Ascension expansion, we got a couple new tools to try out in this archetype. So the first here, Shadow Apprentice, 1 mana, 1/1 elusive. When I'm summoned, grant me +1/+1 if an ally has Ephemeral. So, this can give us a pretty decent, cheap, elusive threat to go along with our aggressive ephemeral units that are attacking every turn. In addition to that, we've gotten this other Ionian card. It works very well in this archetype. In theory, Field Musicians, 4 mana, 1/4 with a tune, which means a tune, for those not familiar, means it generates a spell mana for you as soon as it comes into play. Then it says each round, once you've summoned 3 other allies, refill your spell mana and draw 1. So this card can allow us to generate some card advantage and some resources to go along with it. With things like Blighted Caretaker, for example. Blighted Caretaker comes into play, counts as 1 of your 3 summons, kills something, summons 2 other things, triggers your Field Musicians, drawing you a card, refilling your spell mana. Haunted Relic with Field Musicians is essentially free, because it gives you back 3 of the 2 mana you would have spent on it, plus draws you a card. So this card just lets this archetype be a little bit more grindy. And you might think that's not something you're really interested in doing with a deck like this, but sometimes this deck can just run out of gas, and having a couple Field Musicians, or having a Field Musician to draw to keep you... to keep your game plan going has felt good so far for me in the games I've played. I played this a bunch this week. It's felt pretty good. Having like Field Musicians, even if you have like a leveled Callista or a Hecarim, right? Or you're attacking with something that generates ephemeral units, brings back your Shark Chariots, that still works towards the summoning to trigger the Field Musicians. And just drawing an extra card every turn, can really allow you to push lethal. Like I said, grind other decks down a little bit more, and just doing that. And like this deck is pretty interested in spending the spell mana as well, right? We have things like Stalking Shadows to spend it on. It makes our death marks essentially free. It makes our denies much more appealing to be running in a deck like this. The denies have actually felt really good in this deck in part because of Field Musicians. Like, this is not a card we want to run a lot of copies of because it doesn't really help our game plan directly. It just helps us not get blown out by certain effects when we want to. If we need to like go wide on our turn with the attack token, you don't want to get blown out by a sweeper effect. That's why I like having these, and 2, with all the card draw we have in the form of the Field Musicians and this One of Glimpse Beyond, which might seem strange, what One of Glimpse Beyond, but it's felt good enough. Yeah, because we have other card advantage in the form of Stalking Shadow, since most of the time we're looking to find units anyway. So what else to talk about? Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Shadow Apprentice. So Blighted Caretaker is just one of the best things that we can be doing on turn 3. Matter of fact, it's pretty much just the best Shadow Isles 3-drop, or one of, if not the best Shadow Isles 3-drop in the game, even outside of an archetype like this. So because of that, we need to ensure that we have something that we'd like to sacrifice on our turn 3. So that's why we're running 3 of Aristocrat. And sometimes our Shadow Apprentices just have to be Blighted Caretaker food for that reason. That's one of the things I found playing this deck. You have to... don't be afraid of running your Shadow Apprentices out on turn 1 if it means ensuring that you get a decent Blighted Caretaker attack on your turn 3. Especially if you start with the attack token. You just play this out as a 1/1 elusive. You hit the opponent. Maybe on your next turn you're playing a Shark Chariot or a Soul Shepherd, and then you're sacrificing this to a Blighted Caretaker to really push damage. Because trying to get the extra value out of this thing, the +2/+2, and wait is often just not a good idea. Because realistically, you're probably not getting this to be attacking as a 2/2 until turn 3 most of the time. In theory, you can do it as early as your turn 2, but you're probably not spending your resources as best you could in those games. So don't expect this to be a 2/2 before turn 3 most of the time. reasonably speaking. So yeah, this archetype's been around for a while. Won't talk much more about it. We'll just jump into some games. Oh, I guess I want to mention the one of Evershade Stalker here. This has felt really, really good with field musicians, because even on defense, there can be times when you have a full enough board, you don't really want to add more to it for fear of a sweeper, or you have things like, a Hecarim that could bring back your elusives anyway. Triggering Nightfall and Evershade Stalker, and then just keep replacing your Evershade Stalker on a full back row with more Evershade Stalkers just to trigger a Field Musician or two to draw cards has felt kind of cool. I don't know if it's good, but it's felt reasonable. So that's kind of why. I mean, this is already kind of a reasonable card in an archetype like this anyway, but it's felt particularly good with the Field Musicians, I have to say. So enough of that chit chatter. Let's just go into some games and see how well we do. After the more controlling game plan we had going with that Swain deck, let's see if we can run our opponents down. Everyone playing Severe Swain today. Or just some variation of Sandy Swain. I think I like the Hapless Aristocrat because they could be get a little aggressive. I like to have some blockers, but maybe that's wrong. Maybe I just mulligan all this. I kind of want a one drop though for our Blighted Caretakers, and like I said, it does block. Yeah, why not? Let's keep these. 2 doesn't feel great, but at least we have ways to get value off of them through this. I guess we'll just end the round. There's a Death Mark. I think we'll just go ahead and start with the Shark Chariot. We're not really interested in using Death Mark on Shark Chariots most of the time anyway. They're just not interested. They're not using this as a game 3, so that's kind of good for us. Trying to get aggressive here. See if they have a blocker for this. They can't block, so I think I'm okay just doing that. And then I think I'm just playing out both of these Hapless Aristocrats and banking spell mana. Actually, I think I'll spend my mana this way. I don't want to make my board too full because of the Blighted Caretaker. So, yeah, that's fine by me. Yeah. So yeah, Soul Shepherd's a nice hit.
Observe the price of ambition.
So there's no way for us to stop that, unfortunately. So those two things are gonna trade. Let's see what we see with this first. Not the best hit ever. But it's kind of cute because like the one Shadow Apprentice can fuel the other. And this will make them somewhat big. So that's kind of nice. I think I just pass here because if they want to attack, I'm fine throwing this in front of here. Because then Blighted Caretaker is going to get to do its thing the next turn. And banking the spell mana for the Death Mark is also appealing.
What's that noise?
Hecarim.
Everyone's a garden.
Play the one Shadow Apprentice for sure. It's fine, we'll use... So now that's a reason to use Death Mark on it. So, where are we at here?
Come this way.
I want to just kill you, I think. I think I want to swing with that, actually. Yeah, was kind of confused there. It's like, well, if you're gonna do that, you may as well get the spider or throw away the spider. Sure. I think this is worthwhile, even if it's not getting one of their big things. Because keeping around a 3-2 challenger is nice. The thing to note about the Soul Shepherd actually grants Ephemerals +1/+1. It's not temporary, so. So even if he has a big blocker to put in front of Hecarim, we have this 3-2 challenger that can get it out of the way, which is nice. And yeah, I'm almost certainly opening on attacks next turn. I don't think our draw is going to change that.
This curse is now my penance.
Okay, do they have Ravenous Block? They don't. It's unfortunate that he's that weak because it does mean either of these can block him. Let's do this to start because it gives us a better idea of what we should be doing this round. Okay, do I risk it with the Field Musicians? Field Musicians would let us draw a card. But I think we're supposed to.
A tune of courage for our companions.
Sure. Now, I could play this Shadow Apprentice, attack, and it generates another one. Alternatively, what could I do? I could attack with a bunch of units, play second Field Musicians, which would give me a second mana to play the Spirits, assuming they trade our boards off here, and then I summon a unit that way. Because we only have one Shark Chariot, right? Yeah, just the one.
They grow up so fast.
I guess I'll try that. I think trading this for two random cards on top of our deck is probably worthwhile. Okay, cool.
My snap ladies. And a 1, 2, 3.
I wonder if they'll negate this if they have Right of Negation. I think you deny this if you have that card. Yeah. Right. Well, now we need the top of our deck to be kind of hot. We needed that probably a turn. Oh, and we're dead. No way of blocking that.
Born a patrician, I became a soldier.
Right in Negation. Probably should just be in all of your Shurima decks. It's probably wrong that our Swain deck that's looking to go long doesn't have at least one copy of it. There's just so many other goodies I want to play in a deck like that, though. Okay, Swain, Lysandra, Scargrounds, maybe? Or just running Lysandra and her various damage effects because they're really good. I think I like this curve. Field Musicians is a fun card, so... Even if I'm not supposed to keep it in the opening hand, screw it, I'm keeping it. We got a pretty decent curve, honestly. We go 1, 2, 3, sacking this to this to bring back Shark Chariot that we'll play on our 2.
I must get out of here.
Just to have it die. That's fine, and then we have a Hecarim for down the line. Evershade Stalker, pretty nice. Okay, well, we don't want to get got by the deal one to everything spell, and 1 damage is not a big deal, so I'll just pass if it means them not spending their mana here. That's fine.
And a 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I should have done this first. Yeah, should have played this first. Guess it doesn't really matter. Probably doesn't matter, but I definitely should have done that. Since I was going to get a spell mana back anyway, and I mean, I'm going to do it at the start of our next turn before I play the Blighted Caretaker, because that's what I should be doing.
You have to get me out of here.
I guess we block here. Want him to lose his 2/1. I lose a 1. The 1/1's going away anyway. But this would die because he's going to play that Ice Shard probably. If we could find Soul Shepherd, that would be ideal. No such luck. I'm actually gonna pass and see what they do.
I follow the Freljord's true leader.
Okay, so now he can't play thingy. Oh no, Ice Shard's 3 mana. Never mind. What am I saying? He can play that. So with that in mind, do I play the Callista? Callista plus Shark and Shark is gonna summon thingy. If he plays it post pre-combat, I can just... He gets rid of his blockers. I could throw Callista into this if I really want to.
There can be no justice, only revenge.
Which is, that's it. Okay. Sure. Okay. Opponents are not letting us have any fun with our decks today. It's like, just let me kill you, opponent. What's wrong? Let me do the cool attacks. In fact, I don't even care if you let me kill you. Just let me do my cool attack and then beat you.
As she wills it.
Do I play a Hecarim out? It's not quite leveled yet, so I don't think so. If he just passes, we're going to get a leveled Callista, which is going to bring back a lot of sharks. If he just passes, I'm probably just supposed to pass back rather than try to play this Shadow Apprentice for extra value. I guess I'll play this because then Shadow Apprentice gets the +2/+2 and this triggers. Well, damn it. I don't know why I didn't think about that card in their archetype. I mean, we have a second Collar, so it's fine, but it's kind of annoying.
There can be no justice, only revenge.
Leave your bags at the door.
A lot of sharks.
Let's talk about your dad. Come on in.
Crack your bones, see what's inside.
That is a great draw. We're getting to the point in the game where an effect like that, very appealing. So I think this round we're just going Hecarim. We could also just play the Haunted Relic to draw a card with this and then play our expensive stuff.
Take this outside.
That would be fine. Honestly, I don't really care about this guy anymore, so I think we just throw him away.
Not today.
Deploying.
I think I just want to cantrip this. Yeah, we don't need it. Play the other stuff.
Lilies? Where are you?
Dark in the skies.
Ooh. Soul Shepherd is kind of appealing. I don't have to risk my Hecarim in combat here, because he wants to trade this into this or something, and then reduce the attack power of these, but I don't need to do that.
Counterattack.
He's blocking incorrectly here. These two are going to trade. This is he needs to block here. Block here, opponent. He can survive at 1. Ooh, is that what he chose? I guess we try to push damage here because he didn't block right. He needs a second one.
Lay on.
So they should have survived at 1 with a Leviathan on board, which is not insignificant because they had a Swain in hand, and if he wasn't already leveled, he was very much going to be. at the start of our next combat step. Yeah. We still had a ton of gas in the tank though, so maybe it wouldn't have mattered. But definitely would have been a tougher game if our opponent blocks well there. And you know what? Maybe with that in mind, I am supposed to start my turn playing the Soul Shepherd, because it means that our Ephemerals dodge another single copy of Ice Shards, right? So maybe that's what I'm supposed to do, especially because I have the Deny in hand, right? It's pretty low risk. What are we up to here? Oh, they're just playing the crappy control deck with the broken combo. So we want our... Do we want the Dark Water Scourge? I mean, Dark Water Scourge is obviously amazing with Deathmark. It's amazing with Callista if she's leveled. Without a Deathmark in sight, am I supposed to keep it? We're losing this deck by getting like OTK'd, so the life gain's not relevant. I think I'd throw it back. Look at that, we drew one anyway. Don't know that we care about this on one. Just bank some spell mana.
What's that noise?
I guess I missed the point of damage kind of by doing that.
Please.
It's annoying. But now we can go get a leveled Callista. They'll probably have a Thermo Beam or get excited though, but... Oh, okay. If they don't, then that's great for us.
You must know me. You must.
Okay. I think this is worth doing.
The rogues shall find their vengeance!
Oh, fresh soil.
Now they could Thermo Beam, and like, sure, that means I didn't get to open attacks with Callista, but her opening attacks with her wouldn't have been great anyway. Yeah, they're looking for a Thermo Beam here, I bet, if they have it in their deck. They do not, it seems. So this deck's specifically designed to say F you to Ephemerals? Is that what I'm getting? Is that what I'm seeing?
Everyone's a garden.
Play this out because Callista will bring it back. Still gain back a decent amount of life here. There's a... Okay.
Come, the journey ahead is long.
You shall have more to guide soon.
Trespassers!
We go, we go, we go.
turn.
What the heck?
The shadow approaches.
I am the light beyond.
I think we're playing these two this round. I think I'm starting with this. I don't want to get got by Ruination, I suppose, so we're probably just supposed to attack. This feels kind of bad with the Darkwater Scourge in our hand, but I don't want to die to this stupid things.
I got ways to find in mushrooms.
No musicians. Feels kind of bad.
Still like a yodel in uniform.
Am I playing this just to chump something? I think I have to. Means they don't attack. That's a Collis.
We shall not rest until all betrayers pay.
Well, that means they don't have a Ruination in hand, right? If they had Ruination, they would almost certainly play it out.
There you are.
Just the two.
Split their skin, watch them die. Cut them, kill them. More.
Our aim does not falter.
This is actually pretty great because it means they can't just block this. This will still connect, which they don't want because they're close to burning me out.
Fight me, you flame-ridden lump. Get off my stage.
Good for them. They have an answer. That's unfortunate for us. Alright, are we gonna get burned out? What say you, opponent? I'm not really interested in playing either of these. Well, at least that means no lead draws. Got that going for us.
Never one.
Without the other.
Guess I'm pretty obligated to block everything, huh?
Be still now.
Your end comes.
Tear them apart, let them scream.
It is a weapon. There is more yet to do.
Foolish.
There is a little fruit fly buzzing around me this entire stream, and it's really annoying me. Wow, that's such a pain in the ass. Concurrent timelines is a stupid card. I really hope they change that. Oh, what is this? Okay. Where are we at with this? I think I want the Kalista. I'm gonna throw everything else back, see if we can find something more interesting. Probably just gonna move.
The Emperor commands, the land obeyed. Azir's command!
Cool.
Our son.
I'm gonna just bank the spell mana because depending on what our opponent plays, it could mean we can play and level Kalista the next turn. Still think we probably want to try to do that. Kind of sucks that they have a lot of power here. Here.
We shall pierce their treasonous hearts.
So what do we think? I'm almost certainly supposed to get the easy level up on Kalista, right? And then we play these two attack next turn. think I'm just supposed to get the level up on there. Huh. No, I think I'll say that for something else.
It's playtime.
Every
Get him.
It is not yet your time.
The desert by my side.
oh, fresh soil.
Do this now.
Always forward.
But they're saplings.
No fear.
Yeah, that's fortunately not a very interesting attack, so I guess we'll play Hecarim.
Not today.
Wow, he doesn't even level.
There is work yet to do.
Dissident. Spears ready.
No.
Has to if so opponent just doesn't want to play anymore. Cool. They could have survived if they threw away the 0-3 in front of Hecarim. Or could they have? I didn't really do the math. I think they could have. Obviously, they wouldn't have gotten all the triggers that they wanted to get, but they decided they'd rather lose the game than continue on, so that's fine. Kalista, maybe? Yeah, those field musicians definitely made these haunted relics. They definitely raised the floor on these haunted relics a little bit more.
Where are you?
In addition to being able to play it on defense to help level up Kalista, the fact that you can also use them to draw a card as well is so nice. Like, just turning this card into something so much better is great. Okay, I'm just gonna pass. Look to play Kalista next turn. Probably with the
We shall pierce their
spirits here.
treasonous hearts.
They don't have whale up, so I think this is worth doing.
Is a weapon.
And do we want to play this gentleman?
I must get out of here.
I think attacking with him is fine. Gets rid of a blocker, like for something bigger down the line, like a Darkwater Scourge. So Kalista pushes one more damage here because she leveled up, gets +1/+1. Probably will play the Darkwater Scourge and Shadow Apprentice next turn. And then just open attacks.
Oh, fresh soil.
Yep. Oh, this is bad because if they... Yeah. I should have waited post-combat for this. It's fine. Our opponent doesn't see what we're about to do. They could have a way to finish her off. They could have double Vile Feast. I'm gonna get greedy here. I'm just gonna get my 5/5.
No, 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 no. My saplings.
I'm always up for a round or two.
Sure.
Dead in their tracks.
We shall return.
Does death follow me, or peace?
So he will level if he gets to attack next turn. Not likely to happen. Our opponent's got plenty. Well, now they've gone down from Ruination mana. Now they've gone down from Vengeance mana. So. Hey look, we can be the bad guys soon. We can be the fun police. I'm playing another one of those obnoxious burn decks. I kind of want to keep all of this. So field musicians where we want to be though? No, I think I'd rather look for something else. We have plenty of time to draw field musicians between now and turn 4 if we're even interested in playing it as early as that. Okay, I'm gonna... Yeah, I think I'm gonna lay this guy down. Get in our 1 damage. He's gonna block the 1/2, I guess. Next turn. Depending on what we draw, we may or may not play. Of course. Okay.
Please, I have connections.
I think we pass here. I think with all these death marks in hand, pretty unfortunate draws to be honest. I think we need to save this. Let's start here. And if our opponent passes, I think we pass back.
See what
Or if they tap below mana for the thing. Is that true? No, we probably have to do this.
We weren't expecting all this. The desert by my side. That egg, did it move?
We shall not rest until all betrayers pay.
Oh, sure.
You have to get me out of here.
Am I supposed to trade a Callista here? Maybe I was supposed to play this out. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to do this. I kind of was thinking I'd want to save it for a Callista, but now it feels like I have to block one of these.
Please, betrayer.
Feels bad, man.
We shall pierce their treasonous hearts.
Yeah, fuck, I knew it. I was thinking maybe I should play the 3 things and then I can deathmark something.
You need not follow, but
Like
you will
1 mana
pass.
too low. This game. Probably just... There's no reason for him to block anything. This at all. Alright. Let's see if he wants to go wide. Wider.
Everyone's a garden.
I guess I should use these because he could just pass here. That's unlikely with these two, right?
My name will echo through the ages. Emperor commands.
Probably just gonna take this hit. Again, like, 12 is plenty of resources for him, so... Okay, that's not an awful draw. We need something to fuel it, though.
Come!
Boo! He even attacked in a good order too.
Your death has
Oh, I'm just dead. Cool. Yeah, we're close enough to an hour with it. I'll go one more with this just to get to that hour mark. See if we can get a win and then move on to the final deck of the day. I don't know about this format. Maybe it's because I'm playing bad decks, but I don't know. The games feel very, very unexciting. Where that was definitely not the case just a couple, you know, patches ago. Even playing bad decks still felt more fun than they do now. I guess I just gotta play good decks then, huh? That's kind of sad. Or I just gotta stick with a normal queue instead of the try-hard queue.
They're out there. I'll spot them.
This will pass because there's a chance we can level Kalista the next turn. Now I'm kind of tempted to save this for the field musicians because they could have Ice Shard. And if they have Ice Shard, we're not gonna get the value off of it. I mean, I guess Kalista levels, but let's see.
Dark times come and go. We play on.
So they could have another avalanche. This is not a super interesting attack. I guess it... If they want to block here, they lose a pretty good blocker, I suppose. Well, that sucked. What if they avalanche? Is it really that big of a deal? What am I playing instead, though? Could try to go wide with the Evershade Stalkers. Would like to play that, too. I don't think Avalanche... Like, this is not a good enough attack anyway, so if they have Avalanche, they have Avalanche.
Will no one listen?
Now I think I like putting Darkwater Scourge into play as a potential unit for Kalista to bring back turn after turn. It does mean we don't generate a card with Mr. Field Musician, though, so I think we're just gonna do that.
What's that noise?
There is work yet to do.
the doors! Heed my words!
I will bury the world in ice.
Maybe they have a second Lysandra in hand and want to get one Ice Shard up for next turn. Let's start here. It's a lot of Dark Water scored. I think we want the Blighted Caretaker, though. I can really let us push damage. Alright, so, how are we playing this? Maybe I was supposed to target this, actually. Because then Blighted Caretaker is a much more interesting play. That's a lot. This is a lot of damage I'm pushing, but it's not that much.
They're coming! Hide!
Brilliant.
They'll come for you!
Still waiting for, like, the Avalanche or that whatever Gorge card that just kills.
Not today.
That egg, did it move?
Eyes to me.
A tune of courage for our companions.
A dark cloud looms on the horizon.
Tear them apart, let them scream.
The princess.
Unfortunately, this does not level Hecarim, so I don't know if it's a good enough open attack. Not really sure what else we're doing, though. 3, so I can go... Getting 2 cards out of the deal.
Do not fear death.
This might be dying from a deal 1 to everything. If he's blocking here, he's not blocking Hecarim, which I like.
Crescendo.
Nothing's tougher than a troll.
Shatter.
Still dead. Going to 2 here. If I deny that, they're dead, so they have to do something else. Huh. Wow. Surprised that deny got us to cross the finish line that turn. Opponent just had nothing else. Kind of surprising. Alright, that's gonna do it for me for this one. For this deck, anyway. You know, Ephemerals can be tricky because while you can get off to some really aggressive starts, you often aren't playing to the board with meaningful threats. You know, Shark Chariots are nice to push damage, but they don't block. So it can be tough to race other aggressive decks in games where you don't get the Darkwater Scourge Deathmark combination, and even when you do, it's a lot of ways for the opponent to deal with it. You know, we saw it in that one game where our opponent was able to kill their own blocker of the Darkwater Scourge once or twice, which was enough to prevent us from gaining enough life to not die on one of their open attacks. As the game was nearing, you know, a point where maybe we're able to push damage, but you know, that's the way it's going to be sometimes. I think the deck is reasonable otherwise. If you're interested in playing kind of a different style of aggressive deck, interested in playing these cards, a few musicians have just felt really fun to play with. Not sure if 3 copies are necessary, but I like them. I like it enough in this arc that 2 has felt good, so would continue to try that. And maybe we just go up another Glimpse Beyond or some other card if we're not interested in a full playset of Field Musician, because they can get, you know, bench space for a deck like this is pretty important. Having bench space, rather back row space. I'm using Pokemon TCG term here, but you know, so having too many of these, like, it was okay that one game, but usually you don't want more than one of these on your bench because of that. So anyway, fun card to play with nonetheless. Definitely does feel like a bit of an upgrade for the deck, but probably not a very competitive list. If you're just interested in playing, like I said, a different style aggressive deck that can win games on occasionally, give this one a shot.